Are you a woman over 40 and you're like completely confused about what you're actually supposed to eat? One week it's cut out the carbs, then it's no dairy, then it's no meat, then it's stop eating bread, and then it's stop eating sugar, stop eating fruit, or only certain types of fruits. And so then at some point you're like, what am I supposed to actually eat? Don't worry, I got you. See, because today I'm going to give you 5 foods I want you eating more of after 40 to help you feel better, have more energy, and start feeling confident in your clothes again. So let's get into the 5. And actually, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to add to your grocery cart this week and how to actually use these foods in your meals. But before we get started, welcome or welcome back. Depending on if you're new here, welcome. If you've been rocking with me, welcome back. It's your girl Chelsea C, your fitness and nutrition coach and wellness and lifestyle coach. We're doing a lot around here, okay? But I'm always doing the most so you don't have to. So if you're a woman over 40 who wants to feel good, have more energy, take care of your health, and actually enjoy your life more, get more out of life, you're in the right place. Now, if you watched my last video, and I'll put the link, if you haven't, in the description, we talked about 5 things to take a closer look at if you're struggling to lose weight after 40. So basically, 5 things you need to cut out of your diet or have very minimal. Okay, so we talked about sugary drinks, highly processed foods, refined foods, portions, dairy, and dairy for someone. But I don't want you walking away thinking that wellness is just about taking foods away. And sometimes simplicity is what I teach, okay? You want to deduct things. But today, the treat is we're going to add things like what can you eat? And now this list, when I go through it in a moment, it's nothing that you have not heard. See, because we're not short on information. We actually have too much information. We're short on the ability to act on the information consistently. Okay, so if you hear something and you're like, I'm doing that, think, am I doing it consistently? Or do I just do it every once in a while? Okay, and then we want to make these more consistent in and around the house. All right, so let's get right into it. Number 1, and I debated on this one, and these are in no specific order, okay? I debated on this one because it's getting a lot of play, but for my ladies 40, 50, 60, we need this, okay? In abundance. Well, not going to say in abundance. Let me get to it, okay? So number 1 will be protein-rich foods. And like I said, lately all we've been hearing is protein. You have to live on other things. But at this age, our muscle is starting to, after the age of 30 or 35, you lose about 1 to 2% of your muscle every year. So the way that you can stave that off is by protein and lifting some weights. Body weight workouts would be great. But today we're going to talk about foods and we'll talk about workouts at another time. Okay, so like I said, as we get older, maintaining muscle becomes increasingly important, and protein is an important part of that. You want to be able to sit up and stand up, sit down by yourself, and move and walk and travel and play with your kids, grandkids, just be active. You want to have that muscle on you. So here's something I want you to hear. Protein does not have to mean chicken, steak, and eggs at every meal. I actually do not want you to do that, okay? You have other options. Fish and seafood. With that, you want to do maybe 2 to 3 times a week at the most, just because unfortunately the mercury in a lot of the fish. Try to get wild caught. There's a lot of farm raised. That's not good. If that's what you got, take it. But I just want you to be aware, the best quality. I'm about quality of food. It's not necessarily what type of food, it's the quality. Okay, so fish and seafood, chicken and turkey. So you see I'm doing the lean meats. Not saying you can never have beef or you should never have, That's pork, right? Beef and pork. But those should be minimal. Okay. You want to try to get from chicken, turkey. Eggs are fine. Um, Yogurts, um, again, that's dairy, right? So if you can tolerate it a little bit, but for most of my clients, I just tell them to stay away from that. If you want yogurt, go the cashew um, and coconut route. There's some other ones too. So if you have some other ones, drop them in the comments. Okay. I personally am more plant-based. I will have some fish every so often, but because I am plant-based, and you may too, or you may want to be leaning more toward that, and you could just feel that meat makes you heavy, right? Everyone's different. Lentils, black beans, chickpeas, edamame. Um, those are really good plant-based foods. Leafy greens are good too, but they don't have as high as um, protein content. I'm also a fan, especially because I don't do a lot of meat. I do a high quality plant-based protein powder. So I use that in my smoothies, or maybe I'll put it in some food that I'm making just to get some extra protein. Okay. The vegetables and the green leaves are good because it pairs with the fiber. Okay, so example, you could do quinoa. Oh, quinoa is great. I forgot to put quinoa in there. Lentils, quinoa, and greens. I do like a stir fry. Black beans and rice, peppers and avocados, salmon, greens, and potatoes. You can do eggs and spinach and fruit. That could be like an omelet in the morning. Okay, so that's a great place to start. And when you sit down, ask yourself, where's my protein? So you want to get about, they say, 0.08 grams of protein, which is close to 0.1 gram of protein. So if you weigh 150 calories, sorry, 150 pounds, you would probably try to get around that 148 grams of protein. So whatever your weight is, that's about what you want. I always tell most of my women, stay around 140 to start, and then you can always go up. All right, so we're gonna get some protein, but we're not gonna go crazy on the protein, okay? Just get enough and then eat other things. Number two, fruit. I know, these are amazing. I told you, these are not rocket science, it's just about doing it, okay? Especially berries. Berries are really good, especially blueberries. And I know some of you are already thinking, but Chelsea, isn't fruit sugar? And yes, fruit contains naturally occurring sugar. It also contains fiber, vitamins, minerals, and other beneficial compounds. So don't be afraid to walk around and eat an apple. Actually, what happens is because we have a lot of man made sugars, now we're afraid of all sugar, right? And I know if some people are borderline diabetic, you have to be careful at that point. But if it's made in nature, you are fine because it's wrapped in, like I said, the minerals and vitamins and all that. It's just not sugar like you're eating a Snickers. Okay. And so berries are really good hormones for your hormones, for a lot of different things of that nature. Blueberries are the best, wild blueberries. I like to do the frozen ones. You can do fresh too, but frozen so they don't get bad. Um, Strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. The only thing I'm going to say about berries is if you can try to get them organic, especially in the United States and other countries as well. But I know in the United States, they spray the berries a lot. The berries don't have a protective skin. So you're trying to eat healthy, but then there's pesticides on it. And so you're actually not doing your body as good of a service. So definitely try to go organic when you can. And if you can't, I would actually recommend fruit with skin on it then, watermelon, cantaloupe, because these, like strawberries, blackberries, they're very susceptible to pesticide residue. And if you want some controversy or you disagree, please put in the comment and we can go back and forth. You can even get in. Oh, I'm going to do some hot seats and bring some people on so we can dialogue if you disagree with me. I'm open for dialogue all the time. Okay, but berries aren't the only thing. Apples, oranges, pears, kiwi, whatever you enjoy. Okay, don't be afraid of a piece of fruit. One of my clients, and this is some practical tips, and I'm gonna tell you a story. Uh, keep fruit where you can see it. Okay, keep it out. Make it easy to grab. Definitely take it to work. Lifesaver. Apples and almonds, those are my to go. You like just a banana, you can cut it up, eat a little bit throughout the day because we tend to eat what's available and convenient. And one more thing on fruit and vegetables. Oh, vegetables is number three. So I won't have to repeat it twice. Um, some of my clients, most of my clients, we track our food. We kind of have an idea of how much calories, just the beginning, right? Are we overeating calories? Are we under eating? A lot of people under eating. And so we're tracking. And one of my clients, she was close to, I guess, her calories that day. She was tracking. She's like, but I want some fruit and apples. I was like, please eat that. Because in her mind, she was thinking, let's say the apple was 60 calories. She was thinking that 60 calories is the same as if I ate 10 chips that were 60 calories. Those calories are not the same. Your body's actually going to use that apple for your eyes, your skin, your hormones, make you feel good. It's like, oh, yeah, we can use all this different fiber, good stuff from the fruit, whereas that 60 calories from the potato chips, it's just going to either store it as fat or just going to use it to dump it out the back end, right? And more than likely, it's going to store as fat. So I want you to remember that anything that's from the ground, whole, especially let's just say fruits and vegetables, you can eat pretty much as you want. No one has ever gotten diabetes, heart disease, gained 30, 40 pounds from eating too much fruit and vegetables. And if they have, please let me know and I will retract that statement. Okay? So all foods are not created equal. Now, processed bag foods, all that stuff that I said in that last video, yes, you want to be careful with those calories. But with kale, fruit, vegetables, have at it. Okay, that brings me to number three, which is vegetables. Whew, I'm having a great time here. Um, and I'm especially talking about colorful vegetables and leafy greens. And no, corn does not count. Corn is a starchy vegetable, and it's not even a vegetable, really. So, no corn or sparingly, but you cannot say, oh, yeah, I get my vegetables from corn. Okay? It doesn't digest. Spinach, broccoli, bell pepper, Brussels sprouts. If I leave something out, put in the comments. Carrots, kale, my favorite. What else am I missing? Um, oh, I'm on green beans now, and I've been eating bell peppers. Okay. So, whatever you actually like, I like to try to eat in season when I can, right? Salads. I know salads is a bad word right now, if you know what I'm talking about, food, but salads are good, right? So, whatever you actually like, and don't make it complicated. You don't have to have a gourmet salad every night, but I do love a gourmet salad. You can add spinach, um, to your thing. You can add eggs, right? We're getting that protein. You can add broccoli next to your salmon, throw peppers in a turkey bowl, add carrots and hummus, add vegetables to your meals that you're already eating, right? Eating some meat, turkey, chicken. So we're not trying to make healthy Instagram worthy pictures, right? We're trying to make it repeatable. That's the goal. So eat more vegetables, 3 to 4 cups a day. Actually, it's supposed to be like 4 to 6. 4 to 6. Okay, write it down, take a picture, and then actually execute on it. All right, number 4, beans and then lentils. Now, if you do not like beans, do not like lentils, then don't. Okay, that's why I gave you 5 things. I do know a couple of people that just don't like them, and that's okay. So, but for those that do, like myself, these are one of my favorites because they're so versatile. Black beans, chickpeas, lentils, right? And especially as I'm not eating as much meat, high in protein as well, right? Kidney beans, white beans. I love pinto beans. I love black eyed peas. I don't know if they're the healthiest, but I like them. So they can bring that protein and fiber to your meal and work in so many different ways, right? You can do it like in a chili or something like that. You can put them in salads, soups, bowls, tacos, chilies. Oops, sorry. And this is another food I love in the pantry because it can save you on, it could save you, right? Save you money and time when you say I have nothing to eat. When there, boil some beans, saute them up. I just eat a bowl of beans sometimes. Um, You got some beans and some rice and some frozen vegetables, bam, you have dinner right there. Okay? So beans and lentils. Learn how to cook them. Sometimes they're already cooked. Sometimes I go to the grocery store. We have a little market area and they have the lentils already cooked. So I'm like, thank you. I go home. Add it to my dinner. Last but not least, nuts, seeds, and healthy fats. Okay? Talking almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds are my favorite, chia seeds, flax seed, avocado oil, olive oil. Okay. Usually peanuts aren't really the greatest nuts you want to be eating on all day. So, and you got to be careful with your portions of the walnuts and pumpkin seeds. Not pumpkin seeds, but more the walnuts and the almonds. Okay. But they add flavor, texture, and staying power to your meals, and they're great for snacks, right? Like some trail mix, but not with the M&Ms or the chocolate in them, right? Just some nuts, some raisins. Those are probably what I would have for a trail mix. I love adding walnuts to my oatmeal. I eat pumpkin seeds almost every night. I just crack them and pop them, but you can put them in your salad too. Chia for your, or flax to yogurt. Avocado to your eggs. I love avocado. Um, Olive oil for cooking or dressing. But here's the thing, healthy doesn't mean unlimited, right? So, like I said, nuts are nutritious. You got to be careful, right? They're also very easy to keep eating. So, we want to pay attention to the portions, which I talked about in the last video. So, the portions you don't have to worry about are fruits and vegetables. But anything with fats, even if it's healthy, just be aware of it. You'll be fine. But lumping a bunch of it or having a bunch over time, it could be an issue. But I wouldn't worry about that. Okay, so in my last video, I talked about some things I've considered cutting back on. And so today I'm telling you add more, right? So more protein, more fruit, more vegetables, more beans and lentils, more nuts, seeds, and sensible portions. Because I don't want you trying to lose weight by simply eating less and less. Actually, a lot of my clients come to me and they are actually overweight because they're not eating it. So their body just holds it, and it's true. So I want you eating in a way that is nutritious, satisfying, and realistic. Okay, so you can pick a protein, a veggie, a fruit. So you can pick one protein, 1 to 2 vegetables or fruit, and a smart carbohydrate, and then a healthy one. So you can do salmon, broccoli, sweet potato, avocado. You can do egg, spinach, potato, fruit. Slow me down, pause, write this down. Turkey, peppers, rice, olive oil. Be careful with the rice. Not lots of rice, minimal rice if you're going to do it at all. Lentils, vegetables, quinoa, broccoli, sweet potato, a plant-based smoothie, which I love, some berries and some chias. Okay, you don't need a Pinterest board with 47 recipes. So here's what I want you to do this week when you go to grocery store. Make sure your cart has protein, so fish, chicken, turkey, egg, beans, lentils, yogurt, if you eat it, right? Plant-based protein, fruit like berries, apples, oranges, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. And don't buy a bunch of healthy food because it looks good on Instagram. Buy food you actually like and actually know how to cook. Okay. And if you don't, like I said, if you don't like something in here, it's enough variety. Don't eat it. Don't get it. You're not going to eat it. Okay. Bonus. I want you to try for the next 3 days. Not try. I want you to do. You're going to take on the challenge. Track what you actually eat and drink. Not to judge yourself, not to be perfect. And you don't have to count everything. I just want you to observe, like, what do you eat? What do you drink? When are you actually hungry? Do you even eat protein? Maybe you have a bunch of protein. You don't even need to eat protein. Do you eat any vegetables? How much water do you drink? I know it can seem overwhelming, right? But you got to be aware of these things. So what you're eating, we want to be aware of what you're eating. Like, are you eating because you're hungry or because you're stressed? I have a video on that as well. Are you bored or just grabbing something because it was there? Don't change anything yet. Just pay attention, because sometimes you think you're eating pretty well until you actually see your week written down. And because I've worked with over 10,000 women the last 2 decades, most people under, they think they eat better than they do until we start writing it down and like, oh, okay, yeah, there could be some issues. Okay. So awareness comes before change. Because I know one of the hardest parts is standing in the grocery store thinking, okay, Chelsea, but what exactly do I buy? I'm putting together something to make this ridiculously simple. A complete grocery list, pantry guide, and plug and play meal combinations so you know what to keep in the kitchen and when and what to make with it. Okay. If that's something you want to do, want me to continue to do or to make available, make a comment, say food reset or something. I don't know. I'm gonna have more information on that soon. I'm gonna do that anyway, but that is something that you would like. Please let me know. So if you've been hearing nothing but for food rules, don't eat this, stop that, cut this out. I want you to remember something. Healthy eating isn't about what you take away. It's also about what you add. Okay. So you're not trying to survive on the smallest amount of food. You're learning how to feed yourself better and enjoy food. I'm a foodie. I'm a low-key foodie, but I like quality, good food, you know. So until the next time, check out the video below from the other day about, what was it? About foods to avoid. And then I'll see you soon. Chelsea J. I'm out.